Inexperienced programmers are all over the world, and I'm going to tell you how you can spot them. They are pretending to be senior engineers in their companies and within interviews. This video is packed with tips on how to identify these coders who may be a little bit more junior than they are acting to be. And no, this video is not referring to being able to toss them into a medium or hard leak code problem and see if they can solve it. These are 10 surefire ways to be able to identify if the person you're talking to is a pro or actually an undercover inexperienced coder. Now, the number one way to be able to identify these programmers is that they do not care about the user. At the end of the day, it is all about the user and the person using the product. Something to keep in the back of your mind is if you have no users, you have no product. Inexperienced programmers think they know what the user wants, but doesn't actually know, and they don't care about the feedback that is from the actual users. And the most important thing you can actually get is feedback because it's invaluable. Now, the number 2 sign is lack of planning. Imagine this, you've got a project and you've got your first requirement, but before you jump into the code, you probably take a deep breath and think a little bit about what needs to happen, because diving in without a plan is like building a house with no blueprint. Inexperienced programmers may start without understanding the problem before trying to solve it. Without understanding the problem fully, you're setting yourself up for a world of bugs and headaches. Planning isn't just about the initial phase, it's about continuously referring back to your design to ensure your code aligns with the goals and to your users. So before you write that first line of code, take a breath, maybe even sketch out your plan and save the future you some trouble. Number 3 is spaghetti code. Inexperienced programmers write spaghetti code more often than you may think, and spaghetti code is writing code that is all over the place that makes it hard to read, maintain, and debug. It's often a result of not understanding good coding principles or clean code. Remember to keep your code clean. Name your variables or functions with intent, as this will help yourself and your team increase in the overall velocity. Number 4 is overcomplicating solutions, also known as over-engineering. Sometimes the best solution is the simple one. Inexperienced programmers can get caught up with trying to create complex solutions to problems that really don't need them. Learning to be able to recognize the most straightforward approach not only saves time, but often leads to more elegant code overall. A great point to follow is the KISS principle, K-I-S-S, which stands for keep it simple, stupid. And it's also kind of fun to say because you can use the word stupid. Now, number 5 is all about debugging. Debugging is an art, and like any art, it takes practice. Inexperienced programmers might rely on trial and error, throwing print statements after each line instead of using debugging tools or logging. Also, a bonus that goes along with debugging is writing strong unit tests to help keep bugs out of your code. Most inexperienced developers do not practice unit testing, so it is a sure way to find individuals that are newer to the field. The 6th most common mistake of inexperienced programmers is copying and pasting code. We've all been there, finding a chunk of code online that seems to fix our issue. You know, we're stuck, we find code on Google and we want to put it in our application. Now, copying code, you understand, is not necessarily a bad practice. So if you understand the code online and you put it in your application, go for it. It saves you time. But using code you don't understand is like putting a band-aid on a leaky pipe. It might hold for a while, but eventually it'll just burst. You will notice inexperienced developers using code that they do not understand. Understanding code is crucial as it affects the maintainability and functionality of your program. Number 7 is neglecting best coding practices. And a lot of people have different opinions on what best coding practices are, but best practices are the rules of the road in keeping everything running smoothly. Ignoring them, like version control or code reviews or testing, is similar to, like, I don't know, driving with your eyes closed. It's not just going to end well. Adapt coding best practices early and they'll become second nature. If you're interested in the best coding practices that will remove you from like this inexperienced programming level, go read the book Clean Code, and I'll leave the link below. But when I first read this book, it absolutely changed my perspective on how to write code that others can understand. Number 8 is not using libraries. And I do want to start with a little word of caution that not all libraries are good, but not knowing the good ones is an inexperienced thing. Why try and reinvent the wheel when somebody has already done it? Existing libraries and frameworks are there to make your life easier. Not using them when appropriate will make you lose a ton of time and overall impact your entire team's velocity. Learn to recognize when a library can help you, check the code if it's open source, and make sure if everything looks good, implement it so you don't have to reinvent the wheel and waste time. All right, going right into number 9, which is to understand the specific domain you're trying to get into. And understanding your domain, which is like your world, is key. Inexperienced programmers will often say they are an expert at something they actually know like little about. Take the time to learn about the industry, the users, the problems, everything that you're trying to solve. It'll make your code more effective and it'll influence decisions because you'll be more informed. This is especially important if your goal is to get into a company during an interview process. Make sure you understand what the company's goals and missions are, and then align your skills with their goals, their tech stack, and just their domain. All right, so moving into number 10 is not asking for help. Now, there is no shame, and I kind of want to repeat that there is no shame in asking questions or asking for help. And I truly believe it's more like a superpower. Asking too many trivial questions can be sometimes bothersome, but not asking for help when you're truly stuck or truly wanting to learn is even worse. It's all about balance. So remember, in the software development world, you only know what you know. And I love that phrase. So if you're on this channel, hit that like button and you will always hear me say, you don't know what you don't know. And that's why I started this channel. That's why I love coaching and teaching, because you don't know what you don't know. So don't pretend that you know more than you actually do or throw it on the resume, because you're going to be asked about those questions and there's so much to learn. So always just be open to feedback and learning. So here's 10 steps that you can either apply to yourself or you can use to try and catch inexperienced programmers. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.